The Monty Hall problem is a statistical brain teaser and is based on a challenge from an old game show called Let's Make a Deal and named after its host, Monty Hall. In the game, the contestant is given 3 doors to choose from. Behind one door hides a prized car, and behind the other 2 doors are goats. The contestant doesn't know what door contains what. Once the contestant has chosen a door, but yet to open it, the host will open one of the remaining doors. Now the host knows in advance what is behind each door and will always open the door that contains a goat. The host will then give the contestant the option to change their choice to the remaining door or stay as is. Now the question is it better for the contestant to switch or stay with their initial choice? Now, what did you choose and why? At first glance, it might seem that there's no advantage to switching, as showing the door with a goat will leave only 2 doors left unopened. Since you know one is a goat and the other is a car, the odds sounds like 50-50, right? Surprisingly, that's incorrect. You actually have a higher chance of winning the car if you switch. Not a 1 in 2 chance of winning, but a 2 in 3 chance. If you don't switch and instead stay with your original choice, then you only have a 1 in 3 chance of winning. Now, why is this so? There's a few ways to explain this, but I always find drawing a diagram is the easiest. We have 3 doors, A, B, and C. Let's assume that the door looks like this and play through all the possible actions we can do. We either pick door A, B, or C. Let's first play through the game using the method non-switching. You pick the first door and you lose. You pick the second door and again you lose. You pick the third door and you win. So out of the 3 possibilities, you can win in 1 of them, which means you have a 1 in 3 chance of winning. Now let's see what happens if you switch instead. You pick the first door. The host will show the second door. You switch to the third door and you win. You pick the second door. The host will show the first door. You switch to the third door and you win. You pick the third door. Now this is a little bit different. The host can either show the first door or second, but regardless of which one, if you switch, you lose. So in this method, you can win in 2 out of 3 possibilities, which means you have a 2 in 3 chance of winning. While the examples we used, the doors had goat, goat, and car, if you run through the same examples for the other combinations, you will find that you'll get the same outcome. A 1 in 3 chance of winning if you don't switch, and a higher 2 in 3 chance if you do. For those with a bit of maths background or prefer mental logic, if you pick a random door from the 3, you'll have a 1 in 3 chance of winning the car. The number of cars divided by the number of doors. Looking at it from the other side, this also means that you have a 2 in 3 chance of picking a goat. The number of goats divided by the number of doors. If you pick a goat, then the host will open another door with the second goat, which means the third unopened door must be the car. It doesn't matter which goat you originally pick, so long as you switch, you will get the car. Now think about this for a bit, as it's important for the next part of the explanation. So if you switch, the odds of picking the car is the odds that you pick the goat in the first selection, a 2 in 3 chance. It reminds me of one of those optical illusions where even understanding the truth is still hard to accept. In the Monty Hall problem, our brain has a strong belief that the doors should be 50-50, but the logic and evidence proves otherwise. Feeling a little bit of mental discomfort? Psychologists term this cognitive dissonance, and it's a mental stress experienced by individuals who hold 2 or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values. But why do we have these conflicting beliefs? It's because our brain is using incorrect statistical assumptions for the problem. Typically, we think of probabilities as independent random events, like flipping a coin. The probability of a head is the number of heads divided by the total number of outcomes, 1 in 2. In the Monty Hall problem, the final 2 doors feels like they each have a probability of 0.5. However, this is incorrect. When given a switching option, Monty Hall uses his knowledge of the winning doors to alter the outcome, and hence the game is no longer random from there. The only random part of the problem is your original pick in the game. But even after this, if you still find it hard to comprehend, don't be discouraged. The Monty Hall problem had confused people for decades, including mathematicians and professionals. The most famous example was an article published in the Parade magazine in September 1990. Marilyn Vos Savant, the smartest woman at the time, posed this problem to her readers. She ended up replying that you should switch, as it will give you a 2 in 3 chance of winning versus 1 in 3. Though her answer was correct, she received more than 10,000 letters outraged at her incorrect answers, including academics, the Deputy Director of the Center of Defense Information, and a research mathematician from the National Institute of Health. The outcry was so tremendous, she had to write further columns explaining why her logic was correct. And even then, there were still people who disagreed. But if you're still not convinced, play the game. Play this both Monty and the contestant, and test whether the percentage of wins when switching is the same as those of not switching. If you enjoy watching this video, please don't forget to subscribe or tap the like button. Thank you.